In October of this year, early October the 3rd, I had a very specific encounter. In the encounter, I was told specific things concerning this nation, the United States of America, things concerning future events happening within the nation. I'm not at liberty as of yet to share all of those things. I have basically categorize the encounter into a number of points. I am at liberty to share some of these points that I think are really important for us to hear. Particularly, this was concerning the United States of America, though I know that it will have long-range effects upon other parts of the world. We're going to have a very major economic disruption. This is not necessarily new. When this was brought up to me on October the 3rd, this obviously coincides with a number of things that the Lord has spoken to me over the past many years. But again, it was spoken very clearly to me, and I want to be as clear as I can. There will be a very major economic disruption within the United States of America. It will be very widespread. The banking systems will again be a major component to this disruption. I want to say to us that a part of the disruption, though not all of the disruption, is going to involve a currency change. The plan will be, the push will be to change the currency so that the dollar as we know it will no longer exist. Now, these are worldwide forces that are going to be involved in this, not just national forces. Worldwide forces will be involved in this. I was warned before October the 3rd that a part of the currency change design, though not all of it certainly, is to be a ability to steal from us, steal from the people. Typical, historically speaking, of currency changes, this would be true. Seldom has there been currency changes where you, in the currency swap, receive dollar for dollar. It is usually a low percentage that you receive. What was told to me was not concerning the percentage, so I do not know what that percentage would be, but I do believe that it's going to be a percentage concerning the exchange. So whatever monies we have in dollars in our banks, we would have only a percentage of that in the new currency. So with that being said, of course the economic problems will be much greater than just the fact of currency. The currency, though, will create its own problems. This will be a time for the Josephs to truly come forth. Those that God has been preparing, most of them in secret, unto this very hour in the United States of America and other places throughout the world. This will be a time for those things that have been built ahead of time by the Lord through His people to be made manifest, including, I believe, a system within the nation that is not greed-based, that is not enslavement-based at its foundation, but is based around sharing and giving and bestowing and the wanting of people to come to full intention, full potential in their resources and finances. So with that being said, let me move forward. This currency change is going to cause a part of, though not all of, a very widespread panic. There will be lawlessness. There will be anarchy that will ensue. And our nation, some areas worse than others, some cities and communities worse than others, but our nation will see that on a broad spectrum. Anarchy, chaos, lawlessness is going to be in our nation. There will be a martial law. Some of my headlines, as you will know, those who've read the headlines that the Lord has given me, speak to this. In fact, from the things that was said to me on October the 3rd, I could see why now some of the headlines that were given to me, or really I should say how they're going to play out in this. We will see a very difficult time economically for our nation. Delivery systems will be difficult to maintain. Thus, there's going to be food shortages. I was told directly that hunger will be common in our nation. So again, with that being said, let me say this to us. I believe it is important, if possible, for us to store foods. My thoughts along this line, if the longer the shelf life of the food, the better. Grow gardens. Be prepared to not only care for ourselves, but I believe this is truly the heart of the Lord. Be prepared to give. Be prepared to share. What the Lord said to me before this encounter was, if you are prepared to give, you will always have to give. He also told me this, that be prepared to protect what I give to you. And unless you do so, everything I've given will be taken from you. So we must be prepared to protect, to defend what the Lord has given to us. I think that is also very important. I think we must understand that that Pharaoh had protection over the storehouses of Egypt. There were those who were protecting those storehouses. So I think it would be very wise to store food and water. I think it would be very wise to, instead of cash, to have gold and silver. Gold and silver are going to increasingly become more and more valuable in the days ahead. Much of the push coming to the nations, including our own, is to go back under the gold standard. I believe that issue is going to be forced. Thus, there is going to be a new currency. Again, the Lord spoke to me about this some years ago. But this currency change is going to have very dramatic effect upon our nation. And once again, there's going to be chaos. There's going to be lawlessness. Very difficult times are going to come to our nation economically. However, the Lord has also promised, I want to balance this, but the Lord has also promised a transfer of wealth. If we see the wisdom of God in this, and the buying of gold and the buying of silver, which I believe is going to dramatically increase incrementally in value over the next time frame, then we will understand part of the transfer of wealth. That's not the only way. I believe there are other economic systems, banking systems included, that once again are not greed-based, that really have the heart of the Lord in it. These are very important. Thus, God would deliver his people from the slavery of the current banking systems that have greed as their basis, that has control as their basis, and would keep us under the hand and finger of man, basically working for others' sakes and giving much of what we earn to them in an unrighteous way, just because they have the rulership of the laws.